Thank you everyone for subscribing to Infinitely Productions. If you have not done so, please click the bell and subscribe, and we hope you enjoy our content.
Warning! Warning! The following video is intended for educational and entertainment use only. The content will include disturbing images, violent scenarios, and explicit language. This video is intended for 18+ and older audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
We're all worked in. Never mind, Alex, if you're there.
No, me.
Alright, I'm all set. Now, I don't know where we're going to
shot. But we're allowed to shoot. There's not much more to get here. We understand that there's a hospital in question that we should maybe go to. And just make sure that you leave the earpiece in the box.
Mark has it already.
Isn't that his brother then?
That Watson over there?
What happened? What happened?
This is the wrong end. What do you mean? I need a double mail. Here, look, I'll show you.
What? Coming out of what?
Coming out of microwave? Get the shots, I guess.
I have a car.
There you go.
Come in the car.
Watch this.
That's right. Let me come to the car.
You alright, bud?
Yeah. Okay. Alright, I'm all set.
I understand.
Mark! Mark!
Come.
Bring him out there.
Yeah, I can get it. There it is. Got it moved? Yeah, we've covered it.
There you go. Come on, let's move. Moving. Come on. Right on it. Go ahead. Stay. You got it, Bobby. Bobby, come on.
Hey, Charlie. The door. Excuse me, sir.
Then we go to Cusses, man.
Good fight here.
What?
I used to look the husband. I'm going to tell the police made a circus of this. I think it's a shame. 2 hours.
That's got the clear pipe. Push it under.
Where's Bruno's candy store, Kraus?
I have no idea.
One of these places was his, right?
I think.
According to several law enforcers, Angelo Bruno traveled around the country settling disputes among the mafia organization. He was a man known to often overrule violence. His Philadelphia family was reportedly into loan sharking and gambling, apparently avoiding drug trafficking and prostitution. Because of his reign of peace, many were shocked by his slaying, especially attorney Jacob Kosman, a longtime friend and legal advisor to Bruno. Bruno was under almost constant indictment by law enforcers in South Jersey and Philadelphia. Just last week, he went before the closed-door New Jersey State Commission of Investigation. Just last night, Kosman and Bruno dined together at Cuz's restaurant in South Philadelphia. Kosman left early, leaving his friend for the last time.
Do you think it's connected with the SCI investigation?
No. The SCI investigation was practically over already. Practically over.
Did people wonder, so it didn't have anything to do with him talking, or people worrying?
No, not the slightest.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Did he express any nervousness last night?
Nervous last night? He was only nervous when he thought I was going to eat some of his macaroni.
Sharing Kosman's shock were the neighbors of the reputed mob leader, who watched today as crowds of friends and relatives dropped by the Snyder Street home to give their sympathy to Bruno's wife, son, and daughter.
I was just totally shocked. I never believed that anything like this would happen to Angelo.
Why not?
Marvelous person, I thought. He always a gentleman, always had a kind word. I just can't say enough good about him, really.
Do you think he was tied to organized crime?
Well, I couldn't say yes or no. I don't know if he was or not. As far as I'm concerned, I knew him as he was. Perfect gentleman.
Throughout the day, hundreds of people have driven slowly by the house, anxious to get a first-hand look at where Philadelphia's Godfather lived. One woman made note of the address, 934. She said she wanted to play the number. I'm Mary Ellen Gallagher, Channel 6 Action News in South Philadelphia.
Tell me the way he looked. Who was driving? Who was driving the car? I don't know. All right. Is that a radio?
A massive wound behind the right ear. The wound indicates the use of a rather heavy weapon.
This is Joe Sanchez. It was almost a year ago that the bloody battle for power began. It was March 21st, 1980, when the reputed head of the mob in Philadelphia and South Philly was murdered. The gangland execution of Angelo Bruno was seen as an effort to remove him from power because he did not favor drug trafficking. It was allegedly done with the blessings of the 7 major mob families in America. The deal being that Atlantic City would go to the Gambino family of New York in return for Las Vegas considerations for Chicago-based families. Bruno's death left some top lieutenants struggling for command of the crime family. 6 days after Bruno's murder, there was a meeting in North Jersey involving John Stanfa, Albert Salerno, John Sindone, John Simone, Phil Testa, and Antonio Camponegro. 6 weeks later, Camponegro and his brother-in-law, Albert Salerno, were found in Brooklyn in the trunk of a car. On September 20th, John Simone was found shot to death in a vacant field on Staten Island. His car was found in Yardley, Bucks County. On October 30th, the body of John Sindone, Angelo Bruno's loan sharking chief, was found in a plastic bag behind a shopping center at 20th and Oregon in South Philadelphia. On February 20th of this year, the grand jury indictments were handed up against Phil Chicken Man Testa and 9 other alleged mob members. They were charged with racketeering, loan sharking, mail fraud, and illegal gambling. U.S. Attorney Peter Vira said at the time the indictments would seriously hurt mob activity in Philadelphia. But 10 days ago, law enforcement sources told Action News that other mob families had decided that the indicted men were expendable, and there was a chance they would exchange information if the feds would go easy on them. Therefore, the execution of Testa may have been ordered simply as a practical matter. This is Joe Sanchez, Channel 6 Action News.
Well, they blew up the chicken last night, and they blew up his eyes too.
In his play Julius Caesar, Shakespeare warned, "Beware the Ides of March." It was on this day in 1981 that reputed Philadelphia organized crime boss Philip Testa met his end. Police tell me Testa pulled up and double-parked his Caprice Classic in front of his Porter Street home, then got out of his car, went up to his front door, opened it, and then tripped a bomb that took his life.
That's about 2:58 a.m. Testa came home, double parked his car here, went up the steps. As he went to open the front door, there was a blast. And as you can see what the explosion did, he was taken to St. Agnes's Hospital then, and he was pronounced dead at 4:15 a.m.
By dawn, Philip Testa's family members, including his son and friends who had gathered at St. Agnes Hospital, filed out in stunned silence, some covering their faces. They had wept openly in the emergency room. A woman believed to be Testa's daughter was seen wailing near the bomb site. She was ushered into a neighbor's house and then quickly away. As the bomb squad checked Testa's second car, it was clean of explosives. Many windows in the area were broken. The two elderly ladies next door had severe damage to their home. They were taken away by a relative. One of them, Miss Helen Hart, has lived here for 40 years. For 15 years, Ray Bardo lived down the street from Phil Testa.
He was a gentleman. He was kind, and he was always very nice to the neighbors. It was really a shock for us.
You never saw the other side of his life? Or?
No, never.
Philip Testa's associates tell me that he spent the last night of his life here at his Old City restaurant, known as Virgilio's. Outside the Testa home, I spotted one of the last persons to see Testa alive, the manager of Virgilio's, who refused to give me his name. You were the manager of his restaurant?
Right.
When was the last time you saw him? Did you see him last night?
Yeah, he was there all night.
And what time did he leave?
I left before him.
Did he say anything last night? Did he seem to be upset or know that he was in danger?
Very good mood.
So, on this frigid Sunday morning in mid-March, Philip Testa is killed gangland style, right on his own front porch. It was less than a year ago that his former boss, Angelo Bruno, was killed in front of his South Philadelphia home. It was last month that Testa and 9 other Philadelphia organized crime figures were indicted by a federal grand jury. Testa's killing today is no surprise to Philadelphia police. Vernon Odom, Channel 6 Action News in South Philadelphia. Moments before 3 a.m., the explosion that killed Testa shook the neighborhood around his twin home in the 2100 block of Porter Street. Police say the house was empty when Testa arrived and double-parked his black Chevrolet next to his green Ford, and then went to his front porch, apparently triggering the bomb when opening his front door. He died at 4:15 a.m. He had been carrying more than $10,000. Thousands more were found inside the gutted house. His friends and relatives, including his son, left St. Agnes Hospital where they had gathered for the 1-hour death vigil, saying nothing. They had cried loudly inside. Police called this a clean hit. No one else was injured, though several houses had broken windows and structural damage. The explosion was heard all over South Philadelphia. It woke up Testa neighbor Ray Bardo, who said Testa was a gentlemanly neighbor for 15 years.
My husband and I were in bed sleeping, and we heard this horrible shake of a house. Our home shook, and we went to the window and we looked out, and there was a puff of smoke. And then all of a sudden there were lots of police cars coming down the street, and when we came out we saw that it was Phil Testa's house that was bombed.
Much of the speculation about the series of mob killings centers around Atlantic City and the struggle for control of the rackets in that gambling resort town. Many others believe that narcotics trafficking plays a role here too. Vernon Odom, Channel 6 Action News in South Philadelphia.
Revenge. This is the 1980 report of the Philadelphia Crime Commission, authored in large part by Gino Lazzeri, former FBI agent. We talked by phone tonight about Rocco Marinucci.
Well, that's identified basically as a guy that likes to talk. He's a tough guy. Let's just say that, tough little guy.
Exactly 1 year ago tonight, Phil Testa's house was bombed, and a van which they say belonged to Marinucci was parked across the street, and there's speculation that he was killed today in retaliation for having killed Testa.
That makes a lot of sense, Mark, in view of the fact, that Testa has some family left that's still alive, and possibly someone would, if someone would pass on information that so-and-so was responsible for the killing of your father, I think that being Italian myself, I think that I could understand some reasoning behind it. Although I'm not for a minute suggesting that anyone in the family is retaliating for their father in this particular case.
All this violence started here 2 years ago next Sunday, March 21st, 1980. The local Godfather, Angelo Bruno, gunned down in front of his house on Snyder Street. Since then, a dozen mob-related deaths, and experts like Gino Lazzari don't think it's over yet. I'm Mark Howard, Channel 6, Action News.
Bobby, come on.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our content. Feel free to give your feedback and suggestions on what we should do next in the comments. This is Infinite Lee Productions. We love ya.